Legionnaires of the Lariat, welcome back to another episode of I Still Call It a Lariat. And we are here to bring you the biggest, hopefully not the longest, but the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. We're going to take care of night one, night two, all in one episode, unless it goes too long, and then we're going to split it in half, and Steve will have a little disclaimer earlier on, somewhere before I started this ramble, but after I said it, to start our own little time paradox. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, stevezapf, and my favorite, the one, the only, Hound. Hound, how we doing today, friend?
I am doing fantastic. Mike, it is great to see you again, sir.
I feel
like it's been an age.
It has been.
It's been an age.
Has it been an epoch? It could be anything.
It could be several units of time, depending on how we're keeping track. Could be eons, could be seconds. Who knows? It's all man-made. I'm just excited for WrestleMania, so that way, clean slate, and let's just see out of the three of us who prevails, and maybe we get the Saudi belt. And if we do, one of us has the Saudi belt.
I'm already wearing it, Steve. Can you just superimpose this on my shoulder right now?
All three of us have not been on the show together, so I haven't been able to say Mr. Showtime Michael Wright won last season. Yeah, I'm saying it. Now it's like Hound said, clean slate. This is the start of season 2 as far as I'm concerned. If we were just doing seasons, this would be the start of season 2. Hound has a chance. Let's see what the new kids got.
I am reigning champion. Here's my belt. Again, I want you to put it right here on my shoulder, if you could, superimpose.
I'm going to try I'll try to superimpose big gold for you.
Yeah, exactly. And Steve, how are we doing today, friend?
I'm doing well, man. Staying busy, doing all the things. Got the beard trimmed up, got the hair trimmed up for WrestleMania, obviously.
The TIE Fighter's treating you well down there?
TIE Fighter. You know, I don't know about the Rebels down there, but it's a good day. I'm glad all three of us are together. Like you said, this is the first time that all of us have recorded together in
this year.
No. I think we got all together in February at some point for a preview or a review.
Well, do you guys feel that? I feel it. It's Mania season. And even though we were saying before we jumped on that maybe the build's been a little lackluster, WrestleMania always delivers, in my opinion. We're going to have your predictions for us all here, but like I like to do, Hound, what are you excited about today?
Well, I mean, that's kind of an open-ended question. I'm just excited for life. I'm excited to see my two friends, but if we're speaking just purely about wrestling, I'm also excited that my daughter is an honor roll student. There's plenty of things to be excited and feel grateful and blessed over.
Sorry. I kind of meant about WrestleMania.
I'm aware. I'm aware. I just was trying to spread a little positivity and show some love to friends. But whatever, I'll go back to being a complete curmudgeon.
Come on, you're a robot. Put it in.
This is true. Truthfully, I am interested to see who wins the Paul Heyman on a pole match at this point.
That's the custody of Paul Heyman. Can we turn it into a ladder match?
Something
have
like that.
Have Dom holding the briefcase?
Well, there's that, and
just Paul hanging up by his belt.
And I only have one true hope for somebody walking away with a very specific title at this Mania, and we'll get to that later. So right now, custody of Paul Heyman, and I have a very vested interest in who wins the Intercontinental title match. Those are the ones I'm most excited about.
I like it. Steven, what are you most excited about this card?
So I am excited for Cody Cena. I think it's going to be good. I think no matter what the outcome that happens moving forward, it's going to end up doing great things. It's going to do good business. But I also am interested in the Paul Heyman on a pole, Paul Heyman in a Shark Tank, whatever we're calling it, Paul Heyman in a birdcage, something. I think the one that I'm most interested in, though, to see whether or not it turns into a great bit of business, or devolves into a personal matter is going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I think it has the potential to both steal the show or to be a four-finger stinker.
For me, I really want. I'm really excited for the Rey Mysterio El Grande Americano match. I think they're going to kick this off right. My assumption is that this is going to be the first match. I think this might be the beginning of a series, and we'll get into that one a little bit. I think the match that's probably going to steal the show is this. One of the participants was last year's show stealer, in my opinion, and that's Io, Bianca, and Rhea. This one has the potential to be an epic match. For me, the only hesitation I have is I absolutely hate triple threat matches. But I think that they may be able to make me a fan. All three of these women are wrestling at a different tier than everybody else. I'm glad that they're all in there together. And I will throw out a little love for the Naomi Jade Cargill match, just because, particularly, I've always been kind of over with Naomi. But like some of the stuff that she's been cutting recently, and we'll get more into it. She's been fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm here for heel Naomi. I'm so here for that. So let's kick it off. Let's jump into this one. I moved your order around a little bit here, Steven, because I don't see a universe where Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano doesn't kick off this show unless it's Gunther versus Jey Uso. So let's start with let's say Hound. What are you looking forward to this match? What's going on in your head when it comes to this mysterious El Grande Americano and
the only way
less mysterious Mysterio?
The only way I think this match could be better is if we swapped out El Grande Americano for Chad Gable, because I think Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio would have some real chemistry in the ring. It's a shame we're not going to see them two hooking up on the WrestleMania stage.
I think he's still lost somewhere in Mexico, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he definitely made a wrong turn somewhere.
Cartel's got him.
It's a shame, But Chad, we hope you find your way back soon. It's good. I mean, look, that's two phenomenal wrestlers in there. Their styles work well together. I mean, Rey Mysterio is, I don't even think you can argue if he is the greatest luchador of all time or not. I think he just is. I mean, maybe you can make an argument. I would just tell you your argument was wrong if you told me that you thought somebody else is
just wrong.
Yeah.
Just wrong.
I don't tell people their opinions are wrong, but that one's wrong.
But that one.
Yeah.
Be better.
It was wrong. I'm sorry you were wrong.
But yeah, I think it's going to be. I think that's a great way to open the night. Great energy between those two. You'll get some high octane. You'll get some flippy spots to get the crowd excited. You should. I mean, this El Grande Americano character, he throws some incredible suplexes. It's unbelievable. Like it's almost like he's got this Olympian pedigree, amateur wrestling.
It's crazy.
It's incredible. I mean,
go along with the luchador style. That's a dangerous combination.
Yeah. And pure patriotism. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Wow, what a world. But I think
it's not the right country.
And I think what's going to happen here is I think the show opens up with the crowd happy and excited, and I think it is a face win with Rey Mysterio winning the opening contest.
Steven, what you thinking, bud?
I am going to echo Hound's sentiment about how good this match is going to be. In fact, I will say this. The only argument that I can make for Rey Mysterio not being the greatest luchador ever is if the other greatest luchador ever was wrestling in his place. Mike, you know who it is. Ole, 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 ole. I would have loved to have seen El Generico step up to fight El Grande Americano.
Too many does.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we could handle the generic versus the large coffee.
Too many does.
I think I'm going to agree with Hound. I think this is going to be a Rey Mysterio win. I think maybe the payoff at the end will be we get El Grande Americano's mask revealed. And we finally see who this guy is.
Why would you ruin tradition like that? You guys are... It's terrible.
I mean...
And you know what? Rey Mysterio Jr. would stoop to that level of demasking someone.
Well, he's a deadbeat.
Just throwing tradition that he's built his whole career on right down the toilet. Man, it fits him here.
Is it really Mil Mascaras under there? Is he going to take off the mask and there will be another mask?
I'm up for that. I also really I don't get the physics of it all, but I'm really big fan of the loaded mask. Of putting objects in the mask and like headbutting somebody. Absolutely here for that. But I don't understand how it doesn't knock out El Grande Americano every single time. That dude should be toast every time he drops the headbutt on someone. Like it hits both ways.
I mean, that is true. Maybe it's kind of like Luger's loaded forearm, even though Luger's loaded forearm was really part of his body.
It's different. That's like you're not making any impact. It's inside. It's all secure. I'm sure it like rung a bit. Same thing with Logan Paul's titanium fist? Isn't that what that's supposed to be as well?
I think that's just because Logan Paul has a boxing background.
Oh, I always in my mind it always was that he had bolts in his fist. But honestly, I don't care enough about Logan Paul to know the history of his injuries and whatnot. So, I'm going to go with you guys here, though. I'm going to make a quick case on why he loses. So I'll go with Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio is untouchable for no reason, and he's untouchable at WrestleMania for some reason. And I don't understand it at this point.
I'm actually shocked that he's not facing Dom again.
I called that months ago, but the thing is exactly what you said, Steve. Is I could see them doing a rematch here and a mask versus mask match, and if in that math, that means that El Grande Americano wins this match in a nefarious way or whatever, what have you. He does something where it makes sense for Rey to come back and say, I want a rematch, and I'll put it all on the line. Mask versus mask. He even say, without my mask, I'm never wrestling again. So not only is it my mask, but it's my career. Really build it up. And in that match, I see Rey winning. So unless they want to demask Rey, and this time it actually might make sense, because unlike they did last time in WCW, but we don't want to talk about that. So I'll go with you guys. It never happened.
That never happened. It's like nothing happened outside of WWE.
Yeah, no, that's not necessarily true. There's plenty of stuff we can talk about. That's just one of those things that we just kind of leave it right next to David Arquette being world champion.
That also never happened.
So I'll go with Rey Mysterio, you fellas. This one, I'm pretty sure Rey's gonna win this because it's Rey at WrestleMania and all that good stuff. But I actually would much prefer to see El Grande Americano win this. I also have to get back into the groove of building a lead for this thing because over the last since I had such an epic lead on Steven this whole time, I was able to be a little loose, go with gut. Yeah. Really,
now it's the start of the season. Now we have to.
Now I gotta rein it back in. And we're gonna go number 2
swinging
here.
For the fences every time.
I got a couple ones here, like some things that I'm thinking that might buck the trend, but usually whenever I say that, you choose exactly the same people I do, and it just doesn't go the way I want it to. So, the next match is for the World Tag Team titles. We have the War Raiders versus the New Day. And Steven, what do you think?
So, I think this match, Hound and I spoke about this match a little bit before we came on. I think this match needs to be a payoff match. I think the New Day have to win this match. I think they're going to win this match, actually. And I think I also think it's going to be, again, I think WrestleMania, there's no such thing as necessarily a bad match on this card. I think all of these are going to be, at the very least, good. So by saying it's going to be a good match, it's kind of we're just wasting our breath on each match at this point. We're talking different levels of good for everything. It's WrestleMania. They all have to be a certain level of greatness. I think this is New Day's payoff, though, for the last several months of being just admonished and just guilt ridden or just ridden for things they said to Big E and everything else when they weren't wrong. We've been saying it for a long
You
time.
mean when they were honest on that selfish Big E who just prioritized himself over the group?
Wrestling fans don't like honesty, man.
It's the worst. And like they just turn on these two poor gentlemen for uniting and prioritizing their friendship over a traitor who sits behind a desk and just talks all the time, but not counting us. Like we're in this together. As we sit behind desks and just
yes, we're in this together until Mike decides he wants me out. In which case, you guys are in this together, and I feel like I think the only thing saving me is being in studio 9 3/4 because you guys can't fit in here.
That's not it at all. You do way too much of the editing, the pushing out, the promotion, a lot of the work on the back end. I'm just a pretty face that comes in here and brings it all together. Same thing with Hound. So you're safe for now until we figure out how to just turn you into an AI bot. You're all right, but it's coming. So for me, I'm with you, Steven. New Day takes this because I don't understand what the point was at this point in time with the New Day going the way they did. They got all that monster heat. They really did a really good job with turning them. They're super entertaining every time I see them on TV. Now it's time to pay this off, get them, and then maybe save this tag division because I think that this tag division has really left a lot to kind of to gain, to grow some stories. Let's put the New Day at the middle of it and really start building some stuff up. So I'm all for it there. Hound, what are you thinking on this match?
So I don't know what universe you guys are living in.
I know what he's going to do.
But it's got to be the first one of the season. This is an unprecedented thought.
It's crazy.
Who could ever picture?
Brand new song just came out yesterday.
No, but there's no way that if the New Day doesn't win this, there's been no point in all of it because you legitimately did split up one of the most iconic acts of the last decade and did it in such a way they legitimately had the face to heel drop the way Hogan had at Bash at the Beach when Hogan went from the most loved to the most hated when the leg drop hit. The New Day, you could argue they dropped further. I mean, because it used to be where you had the crowd out there with the unicorn thingies on their head and the bootios and everything else.
The bootios.
And now they get booed
pancakes everywhere.
Yeah, and they get booed harder than Dom.
Getting thrown at people. I was just going to say, they get booed like Dom. They get Dom heat right now.
So I got to go with the New Day as well.
So before we get past it, though, since you made the argument as to why Ray wouldn't win the first one, I'm going to make a small argument for why the New Day wouldn't win this one. And that is, it's WrestleMania. If he's cleared, this would be the time to bring Big E in. If he's cleared. And it's the only way I could see it working out. It's the only way I could see it working. And they get a double big pop right in the beginning because they would get the Mysterio. In this order, they would get the Mysterio win and they would get Big E's return. Or in the case where it's going to be Gunther versus Jey Uso, there could be other cool stuff happening there too to start the show.
If Big E comes down for this match, he goes heel too.
You think so?
And he rejoins the group and he becomes their manager. And they all just dunk on the fans. You idiots. You think we would turn our back on Big E? We were just testing you to see if you would stand behind us. And you didn't. You fickle fan base. So that's what I would like to see, if all fantasy booked that. But I honestly don't think Big E comes back down here. at this moment in time. I think we've seen the last of Biggie, to be honest with you. I don't think we see him back in the ring ever. I think if we were going to see him, we'd already see him.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that's the only scenario I could see where it works, that the New Day loses this match.
So, moving on to the next match, one that I'm more and more excited about as this goes on, though I'm really not really excited about how I think this is going to end. We have Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Now, I don't know if I've seen anything cooler than Naomi's razor blade hair. That was a dope look. And I always, like, there's one, I don't like to talk on people's looks all that much, things here and there. But Naomi always nails it. I'm, like, always up for her ring gear. I'm always up for the way her style goes. And I absolutely love her as a heel. And the promo and the video package that she cut was so good and so on point. And I just couldn't take my eyes off the razor blades all woven into her hair. I thought it was awesome. I think that you put her in a video package next to Jade Cargill, and you could really see who the veteran and who the rookie is in this. I think that side by side like that, Naomi ate her lunch. I think that in the match, Naomi's going to probably carry this whole thing. And I think that if I was booking it, I actually love heel Naomi, and I might give her a really strong push. But I'm not booking it. And I think that the way that this stuff typically goes down is I think that Jade was taken off the shelf. She was put on the shelf, I guess. And she was beaten up, and she gets her revenge in this. And so Jade Cargill goes over on Naomi in what could be a fantastic match, but I honestly, looking at this card, it's probably going to be towards the bottom, in my opinion, because I just don't know if Jade's there. I don't want to be overly criticizing. Maybe they've worked this out. My one critique for Naomi has always been that she does all these things that I want to be like half a tick faster. And otherwise, if she could just speed up her pace, I think she might be my favorite wrestler on the card. Like, I absolutely love all the things she does. Just comes off a little slow. I think those two things together, I'm hoping to be surprised. But I'm going to go Jade here to win, get her revenge, and then we'll kind of see what they do with her next. Steven.
So,
no,
I'm going to piggyback off of what
shut up, Steven. Shut up. Hound.
Okay. F me, right? Jesus Christ. God, I said I missed you guys being together.
Too. I love it. Oh my gosh.
I have an order. You guys know how the order goes. You start and then you go to the end. You start and you go to the end. I'll go last next time. You should watch it. I was testing you, Steve, and you failed. Hound, I'm really intrigued on what you have to say about this match.
I appreciate that. And thank you, Michael, for keeping
You're
decorum
welcome.
and keeping us, on track.
It's how we keep this fair. And so that we're not just like following one another. If Steven had his way, he'd go last every time. He would just steal all of our picks.
It would be pure hysteria if we did not have you saying such a rigid
slander.
Cats and dogs living together.
Mass hysteria.
People not using their left-hand turn signals.
That's New Jersey. We're not allowed to make left-hand turns up here.
That's fair.
So see, I'm not as hard on Jade in ring as everybody else. Jade very much is still green. You could tell that she was the green member of the group. And the thing that Jade has going for her is she has star power written all over her. Like, whatever it is, she has all of it in spades. She is a genetic freak. She is a gorgeous woman. She actually can talk. When she gets going, like when she's in there with people and you can see when she's comfortable, she can go. She can legitimately go, but she also, you can see moments where she definitely gets a little bit lost. Not so much happy feet, but just kind of is like, whoa, what's next? What's next? Becoming almost too formulaic. Naomi 100% as a heel is a fantastic change. I love seeing this character out of Naomi there. I never knew she had that in her. She was always kind of like a plucky baby face and happy to be there with the glow and the neon shoes and the dance music and all that other stuff. But now, yeah, especially you're talking with the razor blade hair, because that was a very cool look. It was a really cool look. I really want to pick Naomi. I really, really do. But I don't think this is a match where wrestling math doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And that's why I got to take Jade as well here. Because
I'm with you. There's no way.
Yeah, it's just this isn't a match to throw a curveball in right now.
Hound, I agree with you. WrestleMania tends to be a show where wrestling math usually it works. Very like they don't usually throw too big of a wrench into what you would think would add up the right way. I think the biggest one would have been Cody not winning the title the first time and then it working out the second time. Like they had it already planned. Showtime, I know you always want Naomi to be like half a step faster. Here's the thing. This is my thing for her is her being a heel actually means that half a step slower that she is actually works a little bit in her favor in this case.
That depends on the match she tries to wrestle.
So,
like, if she tries to wrestle the matches that she's done in the past as a face, but as a heel, then it still needs to be half a step faster. If she comes in with a little bit more of a brooding style, a little bit more of that heel, like she tweaks her actual in-ring style to a layer where it does allow that, then I'm in. Then I'm probably like, this was awesome.
That's what I'm hoping happens with her, and especially against someone with like Jade, where Hound, like you said, she's not terrible, but she is green. And Showtime, you and I have said this before, and Hound, I don't think we've actually kind of gotten into Jade since you've been on the show. My thing with her is she's also a little, I don't want to call her old because she's not, but she's late to the dance as far as wrestling goes nowadays. A lot of these people are starting a lot earlier than she is and trying to teach somebody at 30 to walk in the ring is a little bit harder than doing it at 23. So
100%, I agree with you. And we actually have had this exact conversation back when Jade was still in AEW.
But
the math is mathing. Yes, the math is mathing.
I do agree. I think that the math is that Jade has to win this match. I think that hopefully that time away, and especially since she's come back, she hasn't had a match yet. I'm hoping that was a lot of time spent at the Performance Center since she's been cleared, getting more reps in, figuring that stuff out. Honestly, even if it's her and Naomi just working out down there to figure out, like, to get that chemistry, to get that timing down with each other. I don't know why they would do that because they hate each other, obviously. But
yeah, obviously they would never work out together and prepare for the biggest match of their lives.
If Jade was working out with someone who has a Naomi-esque style, though, like a Jakara Jackson in NXT, I think that would be very beneficial to her. This way they can meld their styles very good, and this match comes off a lot better than what we think it will be. I think that this is going to be at the bottom, unfortunately, just because of all the other strong competition that they have.
I'm just looking at the rest of the card. Like,
I think this sits, unfortunately, with what I have opening day 2 as the two bottom ends of the matches. I hate to say it like that because they're both women's matches.
In no way are we trying to say that we don't think that Jade can do this and Naomi can do this or anything like that. It's just what we see, and we're just trying to be fair across the board. I hope the time off was exactly what she needed. I hope we're in for a pleasant surprise. We come and see a big hitting heel that has a fantastic technical background go up against a specimen of nature, or whatever you want to call it, who will just toss her around and show strength behind strength even better than Tundra may have. And so that is kind of what I would like to see there. So just throwing that out there. I just don't want to make it seem like we're dunking on them because we're certainly not meaning it to. Just kind of how the maths, right? And so we'll move on from here. We'll go into the U.S. title match, and this is the first match I think for me that I'm a little torn on who I think is going to win. We'll go back to the normal rotation of Hound. You get to go first as you started everything off. And so we have the United States champion, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Versus Jacob Fatu. So, Hound, what you thinking about this match, man?
I think this has the potential to be one of those sneaky show stealers on night one.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be fun. LA Knight style. Jacob Fatu could go out there and put on a show stealing match with a broomstick. He's just that damn good. But LA Knight style with him. So when LA Knight does drop him with a punch, it's believable. But it's also Jacob Fatu, so he's just going to get up angry from the fact that you punched him in the face, and he's annoyed by it now. I'm slightly torn on this too. I know what I want to happen, but I worry that some kind of storyline is being set up that will prevent what I want to have happen from happening.
Why don't you elaborate on that storyline?
Elaborate. Explain.
I believe what I want to have happen is I would love for Jacob Fatu to win this title. I think I think we've talked about, okay, who will be the person who have that long run with the U.S. title and do this. And you know what? As crazy as it sounds, it wouldn't be Jacob Fatu. But I think the person who eventually took it from him would be the person who had that long Gunther-esque cementing, here's, the coming out party, if you will, for the United States title. But I've got a weird feeling there are some Solo Sikoa shenanigans that cost Jacob Fatu this. Or it's not even that. It's more. It could even be LA Knight winning via disqualification because of some Solo shenanigans with Solo being like, "But I was trying to help."
I think you meant to say Fatu. Oh yeah, so LA Knight winning.
Yeah, he would win via disqualification, but I'm gonna go with my gut here, and I'm gonna take Jacob Fatu winning.
Ooh, I didn't see that coming.
And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I have a feeling if they're gonna pull some shenanigans, they'll lay the groundwork, and it'll be a Raw after Mania type deal, because Raw after Mania is always filled with all kind. Although the last Raw after Mania was pretty terrible, actually.
But it was probably the best WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and like it was like WrestleMania hit hard.
It did. So, but normally
the best WrestleMania. There was supposed to be an end to that sentence, but
yes, But the Raw after Mania was definitely like the weakest Raw after Mania in recent memory. But I'm gonna take Jacob Fatu here. I'm going against my better judgment here, but I'm going to I'm gonna go with my initial pick in my head here, because I do think it's something good for him to win it. And truthfully, I could see the person who takes it off him being Solo, and then Solo holding that United States title forever, like a long year-plus run. So it's just my thoughts.
Steven, do you have the same thoughts? Do you have different thoughts? Is it both?
I have many thoughts. Hound, I'm gonna throw this scenario out there with your shenanigans. It is Solo-esque shenanigans that are that come into play here, but it's in the best way because we get the return of the GOAT. That's right, Tonga Loa.
Fala
Ikalaiva. That's right. I don't think that's going to be happening. I think he's. What was it? It was a torn bicep or something like that. I think he had it. bicep or tricep, I forget. It was a torn muscle in his arm though, and that takes a lot longer.
You guys give him as much as possible, but that man finished that match like a champion. He's one tough dude. He got a lot of respect for you that night.
Yes, he is tough as nails. But you know what they say?
He is his father's son.
If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
He's still Haku's kid, man.
I'm gonna let that one just ruminate as he sneaks up behind you. Steven, continue on.
Man, after listening to Hound talk, I think I'm slightly changing my mind. Man, I think Jacob Fatu doesn't need to win the U.S. title. I think LA Knight needs to have that belt right now. I think they need to figure out a way to make that belt mean something and LA Knight to mean something with that belt. And I think it works better if somehow he walks out of WrestleMania with it over Fatu. I think Fatu can go right into a real world title program without ever holding a mid-card title, though. Eventually. I just think it's going to be a little longer than now. I could see him honestly already being a world title picture by next WrestleMania. He just doesn't need the under title to do it. So I think I'm going to go LA on this one. I agree with you, Hound. This is a hard one. It was after hearing you talk and hearing about shenanigans. I think this is the one that I'm going out on a limb a little bit with, because it could go either way, and either way wouldn't surprise me. LA Knight walks out with the U.S. title. I'm not surprised. Jacob Fatu walks out with the U.S. title. I'm also not surprised. But I am sticking to my pick of LA Knight at the moment.
LA Knight. So I got a question for you, fellas. The way that Triple H likes to break records, Fatu, if I'm not mistaken, please keep me honest here, is on his own little singles undefeated streak. And I believe he has the 4th longest reign in company history. Am I making that up?
Is it matches length, or are we? Because it can't be time length.
He has losses.
It's match. It's days. It's 283 days. And then Rusev is 445.
And then Tatanka is 2 years.
637. And Andre the Giant is
15
5,115 days.
Yeah.
So it's a long run. I saw it. I'm looking at at a picture I see online, not confirming or denying this is a true statement, but I saw this the other day, and it really got me thinking how much Triple H likes to have those kind of records under his regime. Now, let's be real, never catching Andre the Giant. No one ever will. But Rusev is in less than a year. And when you talk about that long reign of the title, that could be Jacob Fatu when it comes to a singles run. Also, I think that LA Knight doesn't get hurt by losing this match. Like, anyone losing to Jacob Fatu is just, okay, that happens. Like you said, he can beat anybody on any given Monday, or whatever you want to say. So those are kind of the things that I look at this year. Solo interfering makes a lot of sense. This is one I'm most torn on. I'm glad that you chose LA Knight. Yeah. Because now I didn't feel like if you would win Fatu, I felt like I would have had to take LA Knight. So now it's up to me in this little tiebreaker of things.
It's all on you,
which I'm up for here. I'm really excited about this match. I think that something does happen. I hate that the bloodline kind of fizzled out in like the worst possible way. All that time and give the Solo, and it just kind of fizzles. I'm going to go for the moment with Fatu. And here's why. I think LA Knight may have hit his ceiling. We've talked an awful lot about them putting the U.S. title on LA Knight was to see if he was world title caliber. And I don't know about you guys, I haven't seen anything to see him go and upset a Gunther,
Or
upset a
Cody or
Cody,
Cena.
McIntyre, or Rollins, Reigns, or Punk. I just don't see it. And so he's incredibly over. I think he'll continue to be incredibly over. He sells tons of merch. He does exactly what he needs to do when he points and says, "Yeah." But I think this is where we're at. Maybe an IC title run, but just a secondary title run. I could see him being, if you get him with the right tag team partner, maybe they do something fun. Him and Rey Mysterio would be fantastic because that's kind of what you do when you don't have a tag team partner. Just give him Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, just tag you up with Rey Mysterio. You guys win a quick tag team title, lose it to whoever might be hot next.
I'm nervous about this pick because I think this might be what gets Steve the lead to start. But that's I'll go with Fatu for now, and then
Showtime
reserve to pull that back.
Showtime. I'm gonna kind of counter question you a little bit for the LA Knight thing. Not so much the Jacob Fatu part
I didn't
of
approve
it.
that.
Damn it, I hate you.
My show.
LA Knight, you're right. I don't think either one of his two US title runs has been overly epic. Yeah, I mean, the second one has only been a month or something like that. So it's not really.
It's in my mind. It's all
one arc basically. It's all one story arc at this point. What I will say is they haven't done him any favors either as far as the run goes, and we're all sports fans. Is it maybe a situation of, and I'm not saying that this is the right way to go about this, but is maybe LA Knight playing to his competition?
No, I mean he went up against Shinsuke. That match could have been amazing.
And
the what they've done with Carmelo, like he like if you remember that match with Andrade, Carmelo, and LA Knight. LA Knight was the missing member of that. Like that was a great
Jamoke.
U.S. title match between two people who were not U.S. champion. So like in my mind, I think it's as much him as anybody else. I could easily see LA Knight going down as like a 15-time U.S. champion, where he keeps losing it, figuring out how to get it back,
he's
coming back,
losing
it, come back.
Almost like the Miz with the IC title. Like, even though the Miz has held the world title, you don't really see him as the world champion. You see him as the IC champion.
Consistently,
Wade Barrett's probably a better option. Wade Barrett is the guy that kept winning that IC title.
Consistently being around this title, a great challenger for it, a great defender of it, but not someone who ever like holds on to it for a long time. He just gets a bunch of them. I think that you're gonna have to see that in general across the WWE. I think the titles are gonna hop a little bit more than you've seen in the past. There's just so much talent coming in, and like I can't see like a title staying in one place anytime soon for like a very long period of time.
I think El Grande Americano should win the U.S. title.
I'm with you. It fits. It matches. And he can be the one that takes down Jacob Fatu and then holds it for a year and a half. All right, so we'll move on from that one. Next up is Steven. Steven, we have Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's title. What do you got, Steven?
Ugh. I don't know. This one has me torn a little bit too. Like I said in the beginning, I think this match has potential to be very good. It also has potential that the things that have, whether they've been said out of script or on script or whatever, if the stuff that's been said has not been discussed at all, this has potential to break down into not a match, but someone going into business for themselves. I will say this: if this match turns into either one of them going to business for themselves, Charlotte is going to mess Tiffany up.
Mhm.
If this turns into just a fight, Charlotte is the one that can fight. I'm not saying she's a better athlete. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, and a little bit of the issue here is Tiffany, unfortunately, her green has been showing during this whole scenario, this whole build-up. And I think maybe that's Charlotte going into a little bit of business for herself, kind of doing the whole deal where she doesn't really let her talk, or she doesn't let her get her point across. And Tiffany, being as new to the business as she is, doesn't know how to roll with those punches a little bit. She's come up in this new WWE system and never lived in the indies and never went through a territory system, never grew up around the business. So I think Charlotte does win this. What I will say is, and this is, I guess, my little level of Charlotte hate. I guess I'll throw the haterade at her, and it's not the same level that it's not the same that everyone else has been saying. I'm not subscribing to what everyone else is saying about her. What I'm saying is, even her match at WrestleMania with Rhea Ripley, which is easily one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. With that said, if you look at Charlotte during that match, she halfway looks like she's phoning it in at times.
Yeah, I don't think that's one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. We were very critical of that match.
Exactly. And it like I said, it looks very much like she's phoning it in. The match is really good, but she looks like she's a million miles away. And it wasn't that long after that she got hurt. I think she was looking to make an exit at one point. I think it's a matter of now this is what she has. With her personal life stuff, I don't care that much about it, but at the same time, with all of the mess that goes on in her personal life, now all she has left is wrestling. And I think it's one of those things where she has to be here. She has to mean something to somebody. And this is where she means something to somebody. So she keeps coming back. But I think if she could have left, I kind of think she would have.
So for me, I think there's two avenues here. The first one is Tiffany Stratton, does Tiffany Stratton need to be legitimized as champion, or is she better chasing the title? Because she didn't ever really chase the title in the past. She was just Money in the Bank champion. Cashed in, got her title. They do like to mess with those people. Like, usually when you get the Money in the Bank, you lose a whole bunch. They've changed that over the years, but they do kind of throw a little disrespect. It's like winning Tough Enough in the beginning. Like, you didn't earn it. You just won a match. No, that's not the case. Like, you guys know how the business works, right? But so, like, that's what I struggle with is this Tiffany Stratton's legitimizing match? Or is this, let's get into a long feud with Charlotte to have her chasing the title and get back there? I struggle on this one as well. This one's another one that I think is really close. Though I don't know if I'm here for a long, drawn out Stratton versus Charlotte kind of back and forth. Because this one has been a little cringy. I think you said that, Steve. And it's one of those situations where if they're not on the same page, which I don't think they are, I don't think there's like real heat in the back. I don't think this is something that like they hate each other in real life. I don't think you're going to get into a shoot match. I don't think it's going to be one person like actually going into business for themselves. What I do think is that they weren't on the same page. They're not on the same gimmick level, or they're not the same promo level where Charlotte wants to go out there and create magic. Tiffany wants to follow a script. And I just don't think that's gelling. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Tiffany. I was going to come in here going Charlotte, to be honest with you, because I thought the other one. But I think that's one of those things where I just don't know if I want to see this continue on. And if that's the case, then I think Tiffany wins. What do you think, Hound?
Initially, my thought was Charlotte wins, lol. But listening to things being spoken, I can tell you I am definitely not here for a long, drawn-out Charlotte versus Tiffany feud.
Maybe come back to it later, but not, let's.
And also, remember everything here too. There's wrestling math, and ultimately, scales tend to balance a little bit. And because of that, if I pick the title to change hands, I don't see a world where 2 women's titles across Mania don't change hands. I see a world where both do, and I see a world where 1 does and 1 retains. But I don't see a world where 2 completely retain. And if I'm going to want a belt to stay with somebody right now, it's to stay with Io over Tiffany, because she has kind of been getting exposed. Not that she's not going to be that caliber. She just needs more time. For that reason alone, I think this was proving grounds for Tiffany, and it's not that she's done a bad job. I think I think the belt is bigger than her, and the belt makes her versus her making the belt right now. So I think it should go to Charlotte for at least a little while.
Man, oh man, you guys are asking for it. You're asking for this to continue, and I'm not sure I'm here for that.
I'm going to throw this one out there too, guys, because of how we've seen the build play out. We had thrown the idea that Charlotte versus Rhea for the rubber match would have been cool to see. I think the way this build is played out is actually proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of things, not that I don't want Io on this card, but I would rather have seen Tiffany and Bianca have a war on their side, almost like the 2 brats going at it, and we're just looking at it that way.
All right.
That's just where I'm sitting with this match in general. Is I think Charlotte Rhea would have been a better option, and I think Tiffany Bianca would have been a better option as well.
I agree. I get why we went this way, but at the end of the day, that's what we voted for back then, and we'll see kind of what happens next. Moving on to the World Heavyweight title, we have the Ring General Gunther versus Jey Uso. Yeet. This feud started out super cold, and I was not interested at all. I never really questioned, and I think a lot of people questioned Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. I don't think we really did on the show, and maybe I'm playing a little bit of revisionist history. I remember saying how surprised we thought it was
interesting. I think we thought it was interesting.
We were really up for no one guessed this happening, and here it is. And I keep me on my toes. I'm in for it. They started it out with the Alpha Academy and A-Town Down Under being a part of this, where let's figure out how to sync this thing real quick. Over the last couple of weeks, what Gunther did to Jimmy, kind of leaving him bloodied, battered in the mat. This really turned the temperature up for me. I'm really excited for this match now. I'm curious how well these 2 do. I hope that Jey comes to play this time around, and he and they don't kind of hurt him like they did last time or against Jimmy in that match, because that was a stinker last year that I think we all want to just see more. I think that with the Gunther versus Jey, we'll get a much better match. And in all honesty, I think that Jey Uso takes that belt home, and we get a little run with Jey to see if he is champion material. He's super over with the fans. Gunther won't be hurt by losing this match. He's already beat Jey 3 times in a row. It doesn't make much sense for me for him to lose at Saturday night's main event and then lose here again? Like what are we doing here? Like, why did we need this? Let's give Gunther anybody else to beat if that was the case. So I think that I think we were all feeling a little oozy after this match. And we have Jey Uso yeeting all over the place.
Hey, keep it clean.
Hey, Hound. What do you think?
Okay, so I kind of want to put an asterisk next to my pick because match placement fully determines my pick here. If somehow Gunther and Uso open the show 100%, I think the crowd opens hot with a Jey Uso win. Now, the matches involving the top title are the ones where curveballs can come a-flying. Because of that, so I'm going, and also trying to think about balancing the scales further down the card. If the match placement lands where we're saying it is, and this is just before the custody of Paul Heyman match, I think this sucks the air out of the room to send the crowd home happy the following match. And I think if this stays where that's at, we have Gunther retaining. Because as much as Jey is over, is he? Because it seems it, but it's very easy to be into it when he's doing, this with the crowd. That, everybody, it's happy to be a part of it. But, and yes, the promo leading the I'm not scared of you no more, I'm gonna beat your ass promo, like he was just saying, that's great. It's still, this is one of those where I've got this weird feeling, and I want to say, obviously I can't, I can't bet on both black and red here. So I've got to pick one. And we're going to go based on what we're saying this match, where this thing landed. And because of that, I'm going to take Gunther.
You have the full right to change this if we hear anything else ahead of time. That's what we've always done, that you can change. If you get news that this opens it up and you want to change it to yeet, feel free to. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, see, and that's
100%.
Again,
I personally don't think it matters. I think Jey Uso wins this.
I would like to see what Jey Uso can do with that title. I think Gunther is already a star who is going to be, he's bigger than any title he gets a hold of. Even if he were to go after the other one, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of the titles, yeah, absolutely. Gunther's a perfect champion for that too. In fact, he might be more suited because this is kind of more the workhorsey title. The workhorse title. But either way, Gunther makes the title. The title doesn't make him.
I think he takes a little break from the title picture. And he goes and he retires Bill Goldberg.
I hope you're right. But for now, I'm going to stay with Gunther. And I'd like to think on that a little bit more.
Sure.
Does he retire Bill Goldberg and Bret Hart's in his corner?
No, because he only if he gets to kick Bret Hart in the head too, because that's the kind of heel he is.
That is true. All right, so we've got Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, huh, guys? Yeet. Ring general. Oof. I'm thinking that they want people to yeet. I agree with you, Mike, and I agree with you, Hound, that the last couple weeks have made this feud a little stronger. Mm-hmm. And I actually think the beginning of not the matches that they were putting together, the stuff with the Alpha Academy and the stuff with A-Town Down Under. I don't mean that stuff. I think the very, very beginning of this, though, him winning the Rumble, and then the promo that he cut immediately afterwards on Raw. I don't know how this works. I'm not really supposed to be here. This isn't really supposed to be the spot that I'm in. All I know is that I worked my ass off and now I'm here. I thought that was
do my hands.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with my hands. Ricky, all I know is that the car drove real well. that type of thing. That stuff worked, and then it was like a series of things that didn't work, and now it's working again. And I feel bad because I think, unfortunately, the series of things that did not work, that were out of his control, out of Jay's control, out of Gunther's control, the way they set up this storyline is the reason why Roman, Punk, and Seth are the real main event. With that said, I think that I think we're yeeting during this.
Yeet.
I think they want to continue the Jay Uso experiment. I think Jay is over in like 85% of all the aspects of what it takes to be a great pro wrestler. I think actually the one thing he lacks in is sometimes his matches. And he's so over in every other aspect that it's you lose track of that a little bit sometimes. Kind of like
Yep.
Like great service covers up bad food sometimes. I think that's where we're at.
I think the two of these guys are going to put on a banger. They just got to figure out how to do something different. I think that's going to be the key here. So that brings us to night one main event. I will say I tried to figure out how I can go for this, go first here because I wanted to go first, but me going first in this prediction show never happens, and that would just be me cheating. And I have integrity, unlike some people around here, Steven.
The only baby face out of the three of us.
Yeah, and we all know what that really means. You snake in the grass. Means you're hiding something. So we have the Paul Heyman on a pole match, I guess.
Something.
We have Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in a no disqualification, because that's how triple threats work nowadays. Triple threat match. Hound? I gotta go last, too. That sucks. What do you think?
Oh, I'm not happy that I'm going first, but all right.
Should we flip-flop so that
no,
Showtime can go first and Hound can go last so that
do you see this?
Everyone's happy?
The utter disrespect for the
rules.
We're
talking about a no DQ match anyway.
Works?
We might as well have no DQs.
Ugh, man, Steve, you give it together. Maybe.
Listen, just because we have three grown men who want to fight with no rules to hang out with Paul E. dangerously doesn't mean that I'm going to not stand on business and follow the rules. Hence,
damn right.
Set forth in perpetuity on I Still Call It a Lariat. Some of us follow life by rigid guidelines and have integrity. Stephen. Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
I didn't get a harumph out of you.
Yeah. Harumph.
I'm drinking my water. I'm going to be a curmudgeon.
Yeah. That's a great word. I love that word so much.
I am pooping in the pantses. Pooping pants.
So
I'm sure you are. There's no bathroom in Studio 9 3/4?
No, there's not. There's barely a studio in Studio 9 3.
Go ahead, Hound. Let's get into this before Steven derails us some more.
Okay. I'm going to go with what I initially said when Steve and I talked about this. I think because he was the MVP of last year's WrestleMania, and the whole time he's been showing that he truly is the heart and soul of all of this. I think Seth Rollins wins this match. He may not leave with the custody of Paulie dangerously, but I do believe Seth Rollins will win this match. I could see a world where, because of that whole promo where, the thing about favors is you have to choose to do them. It's making a choice. I like that. I like that quite a bit. I'm liking this Roman is not untouchable anymore. And the idea of CM Punk being in a main event in WrestleMania and losing it while not taking the pin, or if it was Heyman who turned on Punk when he finally achieved his dream to side with maybe a Rollins, that is a chef's kiss kind of moment thing there too. But so I'm going to go with Rollins for that, and I could see it being where Rollins pins Reigns because Reigns gets hit with the GTS, and then Punk gets stomped because Heyman low blows him, kind of thing, and then Reigns is going to get up, and you get the whole Paul Heyman like evil face that he does, and gets stomped again. So that's how I see it playing out. I'm probably wrong. I got a 33% chance of being right here, which by my Steiner math means with my 33%, that's possibly that I'm right, plus the 33% that each of you might be right, means I'm 99% chance right. It's perfect.
I like it. That math.
That is absolute Steiner math.
I love Steiner math.
Steven, what is the Heyman to the power of 3 here in your mind?
Oh, man. I'm going to eliminate Roman out of this match. I don't think there's a world where Roman wins this match. I think that's where wrestling math comes in, and I think part of him losing builds a bigger storyline. Part of what I've heard, and again, they like to do these little seeds sprinkled in a lot of times. Roman hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire for realistically before last year's Mania. Last year's Mania, he took a backseat to The Rock. So since The Rock has been back around, Roman's life has not been great. And I could see this leading towards more of that. Roman loses, and this finally leads to us getting Roman Rock at the end of the day. Somewhere. Whether it's SummerSlam, whether it's next year's Mania, a year-long build for him and Rock, I don't know. But I could see it. With that said, that leaves 2 other people. I want to believe that Seth getting Heyman is kind of a red herring almost. I'm not saying Seth isn't going to lose or that Heyman's not going to double cross Punk. I don't know. It just seems... I don't see a world where Heyman helps Punk. It's too against the grain to make Punk a heel right now. He is a heel. He's not a great person. But at the same time, the fans cheer the hell out of him. So it doesn't make sense for them to give the fans a reason to boo CM Punk right now. I think I'm going... Damn it. I think I'm going Seth with Hound on this one. I think Seth needs to fully embrace being a heel at this point, even though he's been just honest about everything. I think it's still a matter of him beating the dead horse of CM Punk left and he did this and he did that. No one cares. The fans are showing that they don't care. When Rollins has brought this up recently, the fans started chanting for Punk. So clearly the wrestling fans don't care, which means the right person to go heel in this would be Rollins. Now,
I'm so disappointed I went last. Go ahead, please finish.
Now, if that means that Heyman does double cross anybody, I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, I think Heyman just double crosses Roman. I don't know if he double crosses Punk and goes with Rollins, but I think he just double crosses Roman at this point.
Laysai. But burn it down.
Something new and different?
Yeah. No, but I guess the one difference here is I fully subscribe to Heyman joining Team Seth. It's time for him to make his way to his new champion, his new plaything, whatever you want to consider that. What Paul Heyman has done time and time again is double cross the person that he has managed. He has reason to leave Roman behind because Roman already left him. This isn't a choice. Roman left after WrestleMania, letting him get destroyed. On Raw, Roman pushes him down, pushes him aside. Roman is done with Heyman, and I think Heyman was already done with Roman. CM Punk, his dream, his goal, the story, as we like to call it these days, was to main event WrestleMania. And I guess that's what this is. I still think that.
They keep calling it that, which means...
Whatever. The story wasn't winning the match at WrestleMania. It was just headlining WrestleMania. And here we are. Story's over. He did it. And Heyman helped him do that. He held up his side of the bargain. I really like the narrative around the tribal chief doesn't ask for favors. He takes what he wants. Everyone forgets. We just boo. We just cheer Roman now. He's still a bad, bad man. Like, he hasn't changed anything.
Nope,
the only thing that's different is he just doesn't have a tribe to stomp all over anymore. I don't think Punk needs to win this. I think he's putting Rollins down too many times. It's time for Rollins to stand tall. It's time to see him go out and challenge for the next thing. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Rollins versus Uso as kind of that next one. Depending on who wins, I really am in for heel Rollins versus Cody. I think that feels really good. I actually think you see CM Punk versus Cena, if that's the route that goes. And, even if Cena loses this match, even if CM Punk loses this match, he can go right after Cena and go that route. Rollins versus Cena, if they're both heels, doesn't really do it for me. So I'm with you guys. I'm going to choose Seth. I feel like my pick felt a lot more controversial before we all spoke. Until we all did the same thing. I will say, on this night, this was a lot of fun. We really set ourselves up. I guess the tie potentially, because all three of us have Rey Mysterio Jr. over El Grande Americano. We all have the New Day over the War Raiders. We all have Jade over Naomi. Hound and I both have Fatu over LA Knight. Yeah. But Steven standing strong with LA Knight. Yeah. We have, I'm the only one taking Tiffy time because it's Tiffy time. You both have Charlotte Flair winning this one. Woo. And then Steven and I we're all yeeting over here while Hound is with Gunther. So there's a match for each of us that we are the sole chooser of that match.
I like it.
And then we all have Seth Rollins going. It doesn't always work out that way. A lot of the stuff we do duplicate, but this one, I think all comes to fruition. I think that I didn't mention it, but I don't think there's any chance that Roman wins. I'm with you, Steven. I think you take him out. If you would have taken Roman, I think I would have taken CM Punk, just so we all would have been different. Because I think there is a chance CM Punk wins this match and then goes on to face Cena, John Cena, have you? But at the same time, I don't want to see that. So let's go Rollins. Woo! And I think that on the Raw after Mania, we see Roman Reigns go away for a while. I just don't. He's a part-timer. He'll come and go as he please. We'll see him at SummerSlam. We'll see him at Saudi Arabia. We'll see him somewhere along the lines, probably against The Rock next WrestleMania. So I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm not going to put us into a time paradox. I'm going to call this show now. It's going to be a day one prediction show. You could dub over my mouth earlier, Steven. Don't do that. You'll find out here. Like this is only the first night, and probably in the description below where we just say night one. So you're gonna be like, he said it was night one in the description. What the hell is Michael Wright talking about right now? You know now that I know that you know that I know that you know. Ha ha. So yes, that was our predictions for night one. This was a lot of fun, fellas. I think we're in for a really good night one. I think there's a potential for these all to be really strong matches. You've all heard our picks. I'm pumped. It's Mania season. I'm getting all flustered over here. So we will be back
if you will.
in a set amount of time when this is released, but we'll be back in about 37 seconds to film night two. Thank you all. Like and subscribe. Tell a friend. If you don't have a friend, tell a stranger, and really help us out. Add some comments below. Tell us why we're right. Tell us why we're wrong. And Steven,
as always, guys, remember, tuck your chin when you bump.